Tonight, reviewing a very special beer. So this is from Lincoln Green Brewing Company. They made a certain beer. We can't see it, but yeah, got my face on it. This is Robins Redfest Whisky Edition, 8.2%. On the back, it does say cask matured old ale. Originally brewed as a festival special for our first outing at the Nottingham Robin Hood Beer and Cider Festival in 2012. We continue to brew this bottle for cask once a year and bottle. Like fine wine and all of us, it really does get better with age. And this is the whiskey edition, so there's whiskey added. It brings the ABV from 6.5 up to a rather generous 8.2. Not only that, I'm looking forward to this. So, second to last, Beer of the Year nominee. Oh, I smell that whiskey, to be fair. And there we have it. We're getting ever so closer. I'm going to do a special show, or video rather, show. So, in the Lincoln Green Brewing glass, which actually does stand out rather well, it's, I would say, brown to black pour, depending on the light. Slightly off white creamy head. Same as Robins Redfest in a lot of ways, but certainly I get the whiff of the whiskey showing through. Interesting to know what whiskey, to be fair, but and for me, this is a brewery that modern traditional brewery. What I'd love to see Lincoln Green doing is more collabs for starters. I'd like to see some collabs across the Nottingham breweries, especially the breweries that are similar in a lot of ways to Lincoln Green. And I'm talking Blue Monkey, I'm talking Castle Rock, Lincoln Green. Now that would be something. And breweries, collabs across the breweries. So you do one at one at the other. A reciprocated collab. Would I like to join in? Hey, if asked, yeah. If offered, yeah. But yeah, Castle Rock, Blue Monkey, Magpie, similar sort of breweries in a lot of ways. Fire Rock as well, and Linear are also breweries that are similar in the way their breweries are. So, cheers everyone. Okay, definitely, straight away, I get the big malty flavours, but I also get the whiskey straight away. Wow. Is that only 8.2%? Jesus Christ. I can feel that. I could taste it and I felt it. Even though it's 8.2%, I could taste the whiskey straight away. It's an interesting element to add spirits into beers. Done right, it can be an amazing experience to add to the beers. I'm not sure you can do the same with wines, but I suppose somebody out there's tried it. And yeah, I know Fire Rock added rum into their proper rum, spiced rum into their rum and raisin. Was it normal rum? I don't know. I know that Fire Rock and Mardy Bum added tequila and rum into theirs. I also, on a homebrew practice, I added honey bourbon into a honey imperial stout, but also a spiced rum, dark spiced rum, into the my imperial spiced rum chocolate stout. So yes, it's doable. And I'm going to be doing more brews this year and adding stuff. Um, just to push the boundaries. And I'm going to see myself um, how to make. Um, I want to do my own cheapest chips fermentation vessel for grain brewing. I want to do it cheap, something to use in a way, and when you look at what's out there, it can be a pricey hobby. So there are always ways to do everything cheaper, especially on a non-commercial scale, i.e., me at home doing it. And following basic instructions, can't be that hard. I mean, look at what happens in the breweries and the what you see in the breweries. And yes, they've got the big machines, they've got the heat exchangers and all this other stuff to spray onto onto the grains and the malts and oats and all that stuff. But the general, I would have thought, it's not that difficult to do in a homebrew sense with even a DIY kit that is a fraction of the price of a standard grain farmer kit. Because, let's be fair, you've only got to get it from that to that. There is a process. Lincoln Green did actually show me their first kit, and again, it's another reason why I mentioned it, but it's interesting to say where you go to where you get to. It's interesting. It is interesting. So really glad I managed to get a bottle of this. Cheers to Mr. Adventure Beer and himself. I love the fact that you can get the whiskey in this. It does make for an interesting concept of using more, because let's be fair, you can do a beer that has flavour up to so point, and then put a whiskey in that has more flavour to create something rather special when the flavours combine. As long as you watch for the ABV, do your calculations on ABV, I suppose. And I know that's not easy because you've got to calculate. It would be difficult to add spirits and get that calculations right. There's obviously ways of doing everything. It's certainly interesting. I mean, if you think about tequila beers and things like that, to do a super strength tequila imperial IPA, there's things that I'm thinking of doing to push different boundaries and do something wacky. What's learnt me this year, and this is where all the breweries I've come across this year, it's learnt me that there's tricks of the trade, and I'm a gardener. There's tricks of the trade to do everything. You don't have to do it all the hard way, and and you don't have to be totally a purist. There are ways to do everything, and to do it good, but just ways to do everything. It's interesting. I'm liking this. And let's be fair, you can do this sort of beer like Robins Redfest, or even if you look at the range that um, Lincoln Green have got. You know, you've got Big Ben, which is a 6% mild, strong mild. A nice dark rum added to that to make it, bigger ABV with that, a different sort of rum taste to it. Interesting, very interesting. I suppose in the same way, like what they've done here, they've took Robins Redfest and done the Disney effect where you plus it. Could you imagine buttermilk with a bigger ABV with hmm, getting maybe a rum added to it to make it a more stronger imperial butterscotch. Can but dream, can't we? And well, for me, Lincoln Green this year, they've had a good year. Obviously, I don't know the ins and outs of any brewing company, and it's not for me to know all that sort of stuff, really. But from a beer fan's perspective, the beers they've produced this year have been very good. Obviously, you've got your core range, your set specials, occasionals, and then the odd, super special occasional with a certain beer review on the front. Um, Certainly done good because it's brought that moment, brought Wraggys Golden Ale to, and Lincoln Green's beer to a lot of people across the UK. Obviously, I don't know no figures, so I can only see what I see on the internet and reviews from across. Generally, very positive. Obviously, in all beer, not everybody likes the beers you get in front of them. There are always beers that as we've all got different taste buds, you know. And some beers that people say, "Oh, I really love this, my favourite beer ever." I'll come to drink it, and I'm like, "What? Favourite beer ever? Hey?" And even so, I mean, I've had some recently from breweries with, mega untapped ratings. I drank one of them, didn't review it, wasn't overly impressed. So it just goes to show you, it's all down to the person. So anyway, drinking this, going down well. I wouldn't class this as a beer of the year. I class this as a very good beer, but not quite beer of the year. Not quite beer of the year. But yeah, very nice, malty, like an old-fashioned beer, but with good whiskey kick to it, and it sure has. Sort of beer that the Scottish on Hogmanay on New Year's Eve. This is a good beer for them. Different versions of this would be interesting. Um, yeah, imagine like a peaty flavoured, an Islay, a Speyside, and that sort of thing. Um, yeah, it's interesting variants of the theme, which is only the same as what most breweries across the UK do anyway. A lot of breweries that do imperial stouts um, do variations of the same theme, just with different flavours for that. Locally and nationally, I see that happening across breweries where they have a set imperial stout or normal stout, and they add flavours to make it, whatever. And but like so, if the original beer, the base beer, is decent, then the flavourings, as long as they don't destroy the beer, is a good thing. Anyway, oh my god. Yakking away. Fires on, so I'm starting to fall asleep with the beer as well. Oh, really enjoyed that. Went down a treat. Would I buy it again? Yeah. I'd like to see different versions of this. If this was ever to come out again, I think this is a one-off special Christmas beer though, so it is what it is. Um, did I enjoy it? Yes, definitely. These are the questions. The score isn't really as important as the fact of did I enjoy it? Would I buy it again? Not every beer I'm going to want to buy again, because if I've done it once and I enjoyed it, but I don't fancy doing it again, then there's the thing. There's a lot of beers that are drinkable but not. And some of these can even be box ticking beers that are drinkable but certainly not. It's an experience, a one-off. Always the thing to remember. So for me, a good 4.57 for me. Yeah, I enjoyed the whiskey element it added to an already very decent beer. And that's it for this review. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Cheers.